In this lesson, we'll learn how to define associations for our models. Active record is the model in MVC in Ruby on Rails. This application layer is responsible for representing business logic and data. Active record makes it easy to create and use business objects whose data require persistent storage to a database. Object relational mapping, or ORM, is a technique that connects the rich objects of an application to tables in a relational database management system. By using ORM, the properties and the relationships of an application's objects can be easily stored and retrieved from a database without having to write SQL statements directly. In summary, Active Record gives us the ability to represent models and their data, represent associations between these models, represent inheritance hierarchies through related models, validate models before they get persisted to the database, and perform database operations in an object-oriented manner. It's very easy to create active record models. All that you need to do is to subclass the application record class. This will create a product model that maps to a products table in the database. Take note that just making the class file is not enough. The table must also be created in the database, usually via a migration. In Rails, an association is a connection between two active record models. Why do we need to create associations between models? In short, because they make common operations in your code much simpler. As an example, consider a simple Rails application that includes a model for authors and a model for books. Each author can have many books. Without being able to use associations, the model declarations would look like this. If we wanted to add a new book for an existing author, we'd have to do something like this. What if we needed to delete an author and wanted to make sure that we also deleted all of the author's associated books? We'd have to do something like the following. By using active record associations, we can streamline these types of operations by telling Rails about the connection between the two models. With associations, this is what the model declarations would look like. Notice the has many and belongs to in our declarations. Now, creating a new book that belongs to a particular author is much easier. And by deleting the author, we automatically delete all of the associated books. Rails supports 6 types of associations: belongs to, has one, has many through, has one through, and has and belongs to many. A belongs to association sets up a one-to-one connection with another model. It's appropriate to use inside the model where each instance of that model, like a book, will belong to one instance of another model, like an author. Another example is in working with our payment transaction application. For our transaction model, each instance of a transaction will belong to a user. So we should declare that association in the transaction model like this. As the name indicates, the has many association declares a one-to-many connection with another model. This association is often seen on the other side of a belongs to association. So in our books to authors example, the book model belongs to the author model, and the author model has many books. For our payment transaction application example, each transaction belongs to a user, and a user has many transactions. In the previous example, we already modified the transaction model to use the belongs to association. Now we need to modify the user model to use the has many association. The has many through association helps us capture a complex relationship where we can show a many-to-many relationship using an intermediate model. Let's consider a feature in a digital video game store. The game store has lots of games, and it allows customers to create wish lists and add games to them. The games are still unique. If 2 users both add Super Cool Game 64 to their wish list, there's still only one game involved. Wish lists can contain many games, and games can be on many wish lists. To model this, we need something to join a single game to many wish lists and a single wish list to many games simultaneously. We'll use a model called wishlist game that belongs to a wish list and a game. A game can have many wishlist games that it's associated with, and it can be associated with many wishlists through wishlist game. So now we can convert complex queries like this one, where we have a wishlist ID and want to get a list of associated games. But in order to do that without the has many through associations, we'd have to query the wishlist game model, then extract all of the game IDs, then query the game model. With the associations, we just have to do this. This style of many-to-many relationship is useful because of the additional concept of a wishlist game. We could add a ranking to that model to prioritize the wishlist, or an added at field and put additional data and behavior into the wishlist game model. Now it's time for you to do something on your own. Modify the classes shown in this code to do the following. 1. Make them active record models. 2. Make it so that the book model belongs to the author model. 3. Make it so that the author model has many books and that an author's books will be destroyed if an author is destroyed.